the kid. The sports bike came to a complete stop by a fairly strong brake force. This kid. Why are you sitting here? Why did you come back now? I'm very busy today, practice a lot. Hoai Anh said while opening the door. Hoai also followed. You don't exercise in moderation. The competition is nowhere to be seen, lest you get injured. Brush off your mouth. Hoai Anh swung his hand out a blow, but Hoai quickly dodged it. He laughs. Okay, I know. Hoai Anh smiled. She took off her black sneakers and threw them in the corner of the room and opened the wardrobe, choosing tight black sweatpants and a loose white t-shirt. Leaving Hoai alone in the kitchen, she locked the bathroom door, turned on the shower to maximum, and dropped her body under the cold water. Hoai pushed her a steaming bowl of instant noodles. Yours. No oil. No eggs. Why didn't Nock stop by Aunt Tam to buy vermicelli? Today, Aunt Tam does not sell. But I told you I'm not a kid. Hoai handed her chopsticks and spoon. Hurry up and find a lover, tell him to cook for you. At this rate, you spend too much on instant noodles. Also, 2 eggs. Hoai Anh did not seem to notice Hoai's reprimand. The first time I met Hoai, the word kid popped out of her mouth and has survived to this day. She still vividly remembers the image of a tall guy with pink and white skin, eyes hidden behind 2 thick bottles, one hand pulling a suitcase, the other holding a stack of books. Hey, are you crazy? Why are you smiling by yourself? Well, I'm recalling the image of Nock when he first came to rent. I say men are 19, 20 years old and timid like a child. Can't be shy, okay? People just came up from the countryside, so when they entered the inn, they immediately met the person who shouted and hit the sandbag. Oh, the posture standing on the hips, face up. Hey, where are you going, kid? Hoai pretended to be shocked. It's true she sucks. Hey, kid, what did you just call me? Hoai flashed a conciliatory smile. Eat, sister. The noodles are cold. Hoai Anh glared at him. English men must be tall and muscular, with a slightly toned body, head to the sky and feet to kick the ground. Someone like you, skin is white, lips are red, for eyes are not even 2 eyes. Don't say the sky, kick the ground, see the mouse has turned green. Hoai also did not give up, better than you. Their daughter has red lips and rosy cheeks, and her hair is blowing in the wind. Over here. Hoai shook his head in disgust. Also, her personality is the same as hers. Hey, what did you just say again? Who is the lady? Hoai smiled, holding a bowl of noodles in both hands. Stop eating, sister, it's cold. Hoai Anh did not spare. She crossed over, trying to snatch the bowl of noodles back. But Hoai jumped out the door. For 4 years in the same neighborhood as Hoai Anh, the best thing he could learn was dodging the blow. This kid. What are you doing here? Hey, sister, why are you here? You go to buy clothes. This is a shoe store. Hoai asked dumbfounded. If you know that, why ask? That's right, the fool. This is a women's shoe store. What are you doing here? Hoai quickly hid the bag of balls he was holding but still couldn't escape the questioning eyes of Hoai Anh, who was staring at him. What is this? She shouted and immediately grabbed the bag in Hui's hand. A pair of pink shoes. Buy it for your girlfriend? Oh my god. Oh boy, I have a boyfriend. My silly kid already has a lover. Hoai quickly covered Hoai Anh's mouth before all the customers here could hear more of her complaints. Oh man. You want us to be the center of the universe? Hoai Anh did not pay attention to the eyes of people around. She opened the whole card. What is this? It is said that a beautiful pair of shoes will take its owner to good places. Go to beautiful places with these shoes. Hoai Anh rolled his eyes and looked at Hoai. Oh, my, cheesy, so sentimental, future journalist. Why are you reading my letter on your own? He angrily walked out the door. Knowing I was a bit too much, she quickly called after me. Hey, kid, are you really mad at me? She put her arm around Hoai's shoulder, but because knock shocked her so much. Until now, I only saw Kid hugging a book in the morning, holding a book at noon, hugging a book at night. Who knew that he was about to hug a girl? She laughed gleefully. He angrily pushed her hand away. Okay, I'm sorry. Give it back to the kid neck. But do you think it's beautiful? Sister? I just like Adidas. Compact and pain-free. Hoai Anh just showed off the black sneakers she just bought. Seeing Hoai's sad face, she quickly said. But rest assured. Girls usually like these types of shoes. Look. She glanced around at a few pretty girls with braids, feet wearing doll shoes, huddled to take selfies. Why do those kids always have to keep their mouths shut when taking pictures? Hoai laughed too. Teen sister. And you are also a girl. Why not wear heels? Hoai Anh burst into laughter. Sonny told you to wear high heels to run? I'm a girl, but a sports girl. And Nock's girlfriend is the same as the other kids, isn't she? I don't know, I've never seen her take a selfie. No, I mean long hair, pink lips and high heels. Ah. Seeing that Hoai seemed to want to avoid her question, she nudged Hoai on the shoulder. Hide it again, I know it all. What to know? Hoai blushed. Guys always like girls with long hair. Hoai smiled shyly. Long hair is beautiful. Oh. Come on, I'm going, it's late for practice. Hoai Anh waved goodbye to Hoai and hurriedly turned away from the shop. His short hair hung on the blue bicycle for a while and then disappeared in the sea of people on the road. Hey boy. Why are you here? It's hot, let's go out to cool. Why did the kid come back now? I brought my friend home. Ah. Pink shoes? Feeling good these days, isn't it? Hoai chuckled. Did you have dinner? Let's cook shrimp noodles. I have eaten bun cha and tam. My friends keep praising and making 8 puff noses. I bought my sister. Eat it hot. No need, I already ate. Hoai Anh seems to be submissive. I just told you to cook instant noodles. Well, I haven't eaten, but I'm not hungry. Here you go for a little jog. Running with these slippers? Fuck you. Hoai Anh strode with long strides on the road full of potholes flooded after the rain. Hoai looked up at Hoai Anh. He turned the car around. Run like that, you'll probably need some tape. Hey boy. Go to the lake for a walk? Come on, are you going to make me sit alone again? No, not running today. Promise. Hoai Anh strode slowly on the concrete road running along the lake shore, watching the branches and leaves swaying in the wind, feeling relaxed. She prefers running here to running at the school sports area, just running and breathing fresh air every morning. But it seems that the hurried steps, the rapid breathing made her unable to realize how beautiful the scenery here is. Blue sky, blue lake surface, 2 rows of green trees and bright smiles on green spring faces. Nice kid, huh? Duh? That scene? Really beautiful. I also practiced running here today. With this place for 4 years, I didn't realize it was so beautiful. No wonder Nam likes to come here to take pictures and admire the scenery so much. Then I don't have the strength to run with you, so I have to sit and admire the scenery. Hoai Anh smiled. The familiar images for the past 4 years seemed to fill her eyes. That stone bench is where Hoai often sits, drunk with the camera from all angles. The straight road that fits in the heart of the other 2 rows of trees is where she took her first steps since she became a student of the University of Physical Education and Sports. She waved to Aunt Nam when Hoai stopped to buy ice cream. Hoai always does that because she likes to eat ice cream after running. Aunt Tam selling vermicelli is closed today. It's been cold these days. Uncle Eight's husband and aunt's illness must have returned with the weather. Yours, Nick. Hoai held out the ice cream in front of him, interrupting Hoai An's line of thought. No one told anyone. They also went to the stone bench on the lakeside, a familiar place for the two of them for the past 4 years. How have you been in love lately, kid? Skin? Hoai rolled his eyes at Hoai An. Those pink shoes? Hoai quietly hid his sigh. She doesn't seem to notice my feelings. Why didn't he tell her? Because I'm afraid. Afraid of being rejected? Or not? I'm afraid to lose all our good memories. It is better not to speak, so that we can see each other smile every day. That thing called love is so vague, I don't know if it's real or not. Sometimes it's not worth the trade-off for other things. Hoai An's voice is full of sympathy. Vague eyes looking into the distance. Being able to see each other smile every day is happiness. Something was deposited in space. Is it because the lake is calm or because of the cold taste of ice cream on the lips? A bit of wind blew, making Hoai An suddenly shiver. She hesitated, then finally decided to speak. You must be away from here for a while. Hoai turned around and looked at her. Hoai An smiled. She received orders to gather to compete in national tournaments. Hoai's eyes were still painful to look at, making her embarrassed. Hey, no, didn't congratulate you? How long are you going? About 6 months. When are you leaving? Hoai let go of each word, trying to hide his trembling voice. Tomorrow. Tomorrow? His face gradually turned red. His voice couldn't help but tremble. So why don't you just leave it and tell me? If you don't learn anything, you will learn how to say hooks from me. Because you never considered me as a real friend of yours. Am I always a kid in your eyes? Like, what does it know to tell it? His eyes slowly turned red, his voice growling in anger. Hoai got up, ran away, his glasses were already blurred. He didn't want Hoai An to see his weakness, he didn't know how to stay, what would he do to fight his gratuitous anger? And above all, he was afraid he would not be able to control his emotions and lose everything. Hoai An looked at Hoai's shadow, her eyes also filled with tears. Because I was afraid to see Nick crying like this, I didn't tell Nick early, stupid AK. Hey boy. Hoai gasped. I thought I didn't make it in time. As for you, I thought NOC was angry and didn't want to see you off. Angry, why not, but... Hoai hesitated. If you don't bring the gold medal, don't go back to the inn. You already know. Hoai An forced a smile. So is Hoai's sister, kid. Both laughed. Just then, the school union called Hoai An. She twisted the suitcase and waved to Hoai, stay at home, study seriously. If you come back and see if you fail any subject, you will die with her. Also, worry about studying, band-aiding around pink shoes, red shoes, or something. Also. Hoai An was shy, waiting for her to come back, will continue. Hoai nodded repeatedly, he said in sobs, remember to take care of your health. Do not over-exercise, remember to eat well. Any medal is fine, but health is gold. Hoai reached out his hand to wipe the tears that had just flowed from the corner of Hoai An's eyes. When you come back, I have something to tell you. 6 months later. Hoai An lazily dragged his suitcase into the small entrance of the inn. The inn is empty. Looking at her watch, she smiled. Right now, Hoai is probably holding a book in the library. She rounded the back of Hoai's room and put her hand in the tree hole next to her. She smiled as she touched the key. In the room, everything is neat and tidy. That's Hoai, he's very careful according to Hoai An's comment. Thanks to that meticulousness, Hoai An's room was also thanks. Hoai An smiled when he saw a box of instant noodles in the corner of the kitchen. She whispered, it's probably going to be a long time with instant noodles. On the table, a beautifully wrapped gift box. A pretty pink bow. Curious, she approached and opened the lid of the box, stunned to see the pink shoes lying inside. The shoes she had seen Hoai bought at that store in the past. An interesting thought flashed in Hoai Anh's head. She sat down to try on the shoes on her feet. She smiled. Looks good, isn't it? She stood up, boldly took a few steps. The first step staggered because she was unfamiliar, then she took a few more steps, feeling more graceful. She looked at herself in the mirror, excitedly pulling out the hair tie. Let her hair fall to shoulder length. She just stood there, turning in front of the mirror, smiling amusedly. I look pretty, don't I? So beautiful. Hoai appeared at the door, making her jump all over, not knowing when she had been standing there. When did you come back? Why don't you speak up and wait there? Made her jump all over. Hoai pretended not to hear her, looked at her from head to toe, and smiled affectionately. That smile and eyes made her feel embarrassed, suddenly feeling extremely redundant. She is squishy. Suddenly remembering the high heels under her feet, she tried to take them off. Oh, I'm sorry, I saw it on the table, I was curious, so I tried it. She frantically untied her shoelaces, but he didn't listen at all. Hoai approached her, he bent down to refasten the shoelace that had just been removed. It suits you very well. Yeah, but why hasn't he given it to him yet? It's been a long time. Hoai looked deeply into her eyes, his voice full of tenderness. Because, waiting for its owner to return from training.